What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my studio. So we got some really interesting topics talking about Reader's Rewind trailer from yesterday and why everybody just cannot stop talking about it. And they've also brought up maybe a possibility of them doing a video game collection in the future. I was talking about this topic years ago on my channel. The link will be down below if you want to go watch it and see what I was talking about. But Digital Escape was kind enough to ask a fan a question about doing somewhat inspired Cowabunga collection of having all of the Power Ranger titles all in one game where you're able to play with all of those games. We are focused on making Reader's Rewind as well as several other projects like Volgar, The Viking 2, and even more unannounced stuff. So we're not currently working on an MMPR collection. Who knows what the future brings after we deal with Robo-Rita traveling to the past? So if you notice the question mark, I think you already know they're gonna end up doing something like that, because a lot of us have been dreaming for years of being able to play old Power Ranger games on the modern consoles like PS5, Xbox, the Switch. Because you know the Switch is popular for a lot of beat 'em ups, so it'll make sense for them to actually add that onto that collection as well. And like I said, I made that video like around 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. And I mentioned something about them retweaking the Game Boy and Game Gear games, because you know the Game Gear games are like the fighting games. They could add some modern twists to it, add some combos to it. That'll work well for the Power Rangers fighting game, as well as the movie tie-in games. And the Game Boy games definitely need some more work, as I've stated in the past, but that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make here is that if Digital Escape is willing to make a Power Rangers collection games for the fans like myself that grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 31 years later, and it's obvious to me that they're gonna probably do something like this in the future. And honestly, I really hope they do. I'm not saying they're gonna do it right away, but it's possible, because a lot of us, like I said, have been dreaming about it for years of playing old retro Power Ranger games from the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, Game Gear, Game Boy, even throwing some Battle for the Grid title while you're at it as well, because that's based on the Mighty Morphin Shattered Grid series from the Boom Comics. Shout out to Boom Studios. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on them possibly doing somewhat inspired Cowabunga collection based on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this, man? Let me know in the chat.